Hello, welcome back to another video on the channel where healing and spiritual growth are front and center. This video shout out goes to all of you that go by Ashley. Thank you for your continued support. And I wanted to dive into this one, okay, you all, because as we continue, okay, to observe more and speak less, then we are able to go, okay, God revealed narcissistic abuse on the societal level. This is why I highly encourage all of you, okay, if you are, any of you who are, if you're just now awakening, okay, and you're learning the red flag, keep going, because we got plenty of content on this video to help get you educated about those red flags, okay? Yeah, absolutely. There's a playlist for all of y'all, wherever you're at on this journey and the spiritual awakening. There's something for everybody, okay, for the trauma healing and spiritual growth. And then also, a smidgen of real world connection here, because again, as God revealed that narcissistic abuse, okay, all that wicked stuff on the individual level, okay, then in the workplace, then in our own families, and then by that time, we're able to spot them quicker out here in public as God sends us back out as sheep in the midst of wolves, because he tells us he's going to do that. Okay? So we got to be ready. And so that's all part of God getting us ready by revealing our enemy. Okay? He has to reveal our enemy first before we'll be able to properly discern who our true blue fellow chosen ones are. Okay, and we'll know them by the Spirit. And mind you, y'all, seriously, okay, don't forget, some of us get the assignment to turn these things over into case study. Okay, some of us do. All right, and I will go ahead and share with you all that the case study from June of 2023, we don't have to do that one again. We will never have to conduct another one of those again. There were several points, okay? And I'll go ahead and give y'all one of them. Do not, and I repeat, do not, you'll hear this again, do not dismiss that Cheshire Cat grin. I don't care how sunny and bright it looks. If it resembles a Cheshire Cat grin, it is a Cheshire Cat grin, and that is a Jezebel. Do not dismiss it, do not ignore it, and do not second guess it, okay? That is what God had to teach me, because I didn't realize there were different flavors of Jezebel. But the biggest difference was because the first Jezebel that I saw the Cheshire Cat grin on was much older, okay? So it was very, much darker Cheshire Cat grin, right? And then the case study was about 20 years younger, yeah, and full of that flamboyancy, all right? Yeah, that was one of the things I started to pick up on pretty quick, y'all. Listen, God's true blue chosen ones, we are not flamboyant. No. We don't have that kind of grandiose persona, alright? Yeah, people can tell. Alright, everybody, but yeah, let's dive into this, okay? It's something to witness, okay? Alright, you know how the narcissistic abusers, right? You know how they love, okay? Yeah, how they love to cause problems and run away, right? Okay, well, we're going to talk more about that later on, okay? But just remember, this is where this stems from. This is that connection from the individual level to the societal level, okay? But the fallen Babylonian narcissistic matrix does the exact same thing, but they make up these problems, right? Their problems are staged, okay? Staged events. And we learn that they're typically the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's nothing new under the sun, as we are told in Ecclesiastes 1:9. Nothing new under the sun. It gets to that point. And so the enemy has no new tricks. So they are pushing out, or recycled, okay? They're pushing out a recycled fear-mongering narrative of some sort of a problem, get a negative emotional reaction out of them, okay, especially the sleepers, to get an emotional reaction, that negative emotional reaction out of them, get them all riled up, And see, those of us who can sense the earth's low rumble, we can hear when it starts to get louder. We're like, okay. Okay, we can sense it. So we know that something's going on. Of course, the enemy's always up to something, but I'm just saying, you know, because remember, narcissistic abusers, they cannot handle smooth peace and calm for very long. Oh no, so neither can the fallen narcissistic matrix. They can't handle it either. The enemy got to have chaos and drama. Got to. Yeah, cannot stand any kind of, you know, smoothly running, calmly running for a period of time. Always got to be stirring up something, stirring up strife, right? Okay. So the world has to have these staged problems and then run away from them. Just like the individual narcissistic abusers do. They cause these problems and then run away from them. So when we see that happening on the societal level with narcissistic abuse, we see them, you know, think about, okay, inside that matrix, okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. Think about how many years that same narrative has been going around over and over and over a year. Oh my gosh, over and over again for years. And it never been solved. Well, those of us, we went down the rabbit hole, and then those of you who didn't have to go down the rabbit hole, and you know this, kudos. But we realized that, you know, because again, remember, the one who caused the ailment also sell the cure, okay? Evil plays both sides. So we learned that, okay, these problems, they won't go away. They will never go away. They will always be here, because here's what happens. So, for example, I mean, you can insert whatever narrative here, okay? So, you know, basically, let's say there's an entity that sells a particular product that goes with a particular, let's just say, thing on a document, okay? And there's those who are trauma bonded to a particular matrix that claim to support that whatever it is paragraph on the document, right? Okay, and so this entity sells product that is supposed to protect, and then you've got those who are trauma bonded to their whatever narc leader of that matrix, okay? Well, they're not really a leader, y'all. They're not doing anything except shooting off with the mouth and sitting there collecting money from all the people that are trauma bonded to them. That's all they doing. Alright? Seriously, they ain't doing nothing to solve no problem. They claim to be, but one thing we learn about narcs is that they rarely, if ever, are doing what they claim to be doing. Let that sink in. Alright? But on the societal level now, y'all, stay with me. Alright, so they're trauma bonded to that particular matrix, whatever abuser is allegedly leading the pack, alright? And they're in support of this entity that sells a product that the paragraph on the document is supposed to protect, alright? And so the other side of this matrix, okay, wants to come and attack that paragraph on the document. These trauma-bonded narcs to that particular matrix get all wild up. All the negative emotions, they get angry, all the demons start coming out. Right? And so now, yes, and then that entity that sells that product that paragraph is supposed to protect, sales skyrocket. Think about it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't hesitate to send me an email. But I have made it clear in the live stream, right, from August 5th, okay, August 5th of 2023, right, I made it clear what CHA is all about, okay? So I'm going to make a note to link that video in this video description below, because of the simple fact that if you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly encourage you to take a listen to that. All right, it was a live stream about the 5-minute mark. I share with you all. I know who my audience is because I am my audience. And I know there's lots of people out here who are awake and have walked away from the Western world in that way, the Western tradition. Okay? So just know that. And so I am just... There we go. Got a note. That way I remember to put that down there for you all. so that, yeah, I know some people fall off when they realize that we're not, that at CHA, we don't play that game of narcissism because that is narcissistic abuse on the societal level being dished out. I just described to you, okay, a similar pattern that happened with several paragraphs on a particular document, okay, that's fabricated to start with and gets people trauma bonded to the world and in turn trauma bonded to whatever jurisdiction that they're living in. They get trauma bonded to it and then trauma bonded to the abuser that's leading that movement or leading that narrative or leading that side of whatever, okay? It's all narcissistic abuse, one-on-one, on the societal level. I mean, we learn on the individual level that narcissistic abuser, how they cause problems, run away from it. Well, I just described to you a staged event problem, and that was staged to do exactly what it did, drive sales up for the entity that's selling that product. Think about it. The world has the love of money. And I'm going to remind y'all that the system of narcissism does not care what we do as long as it puts money in its pocket. Okay? But here's the harsh reality. We got pockets too. Okay? We got bills to pay. Alright, y'all? Seriously. So, yeah, it's like, I'm letting it be known that I know and I'm watching. I ain't the only one. We got lots of people awake and aware out here who are paying attention. We see this game of narcissism on the societal level, on this world stage, okay, and all the stage problems and that never go away, that never get solved. Well, now you know why. A big reason why. Because as long as there's sleepers believing the lies and the deceit, who are trauma bonded to the world, trauma bonded to whatever, okay, it is, that they're going to use it for marketing. They're going to use it for marketing. Yep, because the world has the love of money, the root of all evil. Money itself is not evil. God's clear about that. He said that the love of it, in other words, we better be putting God first. Our love of God should always be first and above all else. Remember, loving God with all our heart, all our mind, all our soul. That's it. Okay? God is number one. God is numero uno. Okay? Alright? Seriously. God is number one. God first. And so we never want to forget that. Alright? But the enemy loves to trick people. Yep, he's got a lot of them tricked. Okay? And that's what we start to see when we're in God's reality. That we start to realize that a lot of that stuff that they're doing out here with the game, the same push-pull, right? Over and over again. And so, I know I'm not the only one. The same narrative, I remember when a particular one came out, and then I remember stopping and going, hold on a second. This happened 10 years ago. And they're bringing it back? Like, it still hasn't been solved? What's up with that? So, we got to be mindful, y'all, and pay attention, and let God bring things back to our remembrance. That's right. God says, I will not have you ignorant, my brethren. All right. So all those staged problems on the world stage are part of, they're props. Okay. They're part of the theatrics as well, but also part of the enemy's agenda to steal, kill, and destroy. Stealing, from them. You see what I'm talking about, okay? Yeah, because it drove that entity's sales up, right? Okay. So, a lot of people got duped because the other stuff. What I'm saying, y'all, is that both sides to that matrix, okay, they're actually working together to do these things. They're not divided. Evil plays both sides. They're up there. They're in cahoots with each other. They're just acting. Okay, they're just acting as though they are pitted against each other, and they're not. They're the one. They work together to orchestrate the scams. Yeah, they work together to orchestrate the types of recycle narrative that are going to go out at any given time. They work together. They're not divided. Who is it that's divided? People. Alright, I'm going to let that sink in. But all those problems that are out there, they're not the ones that do exist, they're not going to get solved. Because the enemy needs those problems to keep people complaining, to keep people fighting against each other, to keep people, that's right, to keep people deceived, okay, to keep people distracted, to keep people from ever seeing him hiding in plain sight. You see, that's how he does it. Alright, everybody, and so just know that if you're seeing the same problem play out again, sit back and think, hold on a second. You will remember that exact same narrative going around, okay, like the one that went down in 2020, back in 1980. Back in 1918, or 1800, late 1800, after the first radio broadcast. Ding, 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 right? Recycling the same stuff over and over again because they know what it's going to do. It's going to how it's going to get the reaction they want out of people, and how it's going to get people to empty their pockets. Think about it. Narcissistic abuse on the societal level. We could see it because once you are well versed about narcissistic abuse on the individual level, God is going to have you be connecting those dots. So the difference there is they staged those problems, causing those problems, making them up and all that, and then basically running away from them by not solving them. Not actually doing anything to solve them, just sitting there collecting dues and membership fees and things like that from those that are trauma bonded to it. Okay, yeah, those who are trauma bonded to it. That's all they're doing. They're sitting there doing this, and some of those like what hearings and meetings, things like that. Y'all, that's just all part of the dog and pony show. They have to play. They have to act the part, right? To make the enemy's lies believable. There you go. Alright, so as always, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. For additional information, insight, and other good stuff, you can check out these videos right here. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.